Great. Okay. We've had two apologies. We've had one apology from Jeannie, and we've had an apology from Jerry. So we do corate. We've got enough people to corate in this trustee meeting. Just to very quickly ask you to look at the agenda and tell me if there's anything you would like to add under what should be a general number seven general heading. Anybody want to add anything under general?
Um, I was asking about how payments are authorized and how payments work.
Okay, excellent. Let's just put your author. In fact, let's put that under finance. We don't. We do have finance. All right. Let's just question about authorization of payments. And Merv, maybe you can talk to that when we get to it. How are payments authorized? How are payments authorized? Anything, guys, under general you want to add? Nothing. All right. If it comes up, we'll add it. Okay. So. Kogi, I'm going to we've got a quorum. We've all received the notice of the meeting. Kogi, do you want to handle point number three and then we can move on?
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Okay, okay.
Welcome to the meeting this evening. Okay, so point three is election of chairperson or chairman. I'm sure you guys have all decided that you want to go with Dr. Blumenthal again,
No, it
or
doesn't
am
work
I?
like that, Kogi.
But I'm sure that's what they want. But let's go. Who has any nominations for me? Who do you want to appoint as your chairperson?
I'm happy to stay with either. He's
Well, thank you for that.
did a good job there with the chairman.
All right.
You have our overwhelming support, Av.
All right. Thank you for that, guys. All right.
Mervyn?
Merv, do you want to stand as chairperson? He's gone quiet.
Let's see, he was trying to connect. I think there's a little
He is
problem.
connected. He was
Yeah, but
connected.
it's going on and off.
All right, guys, let's move forward. Thank you for that vote of confidence. I
Okay,
appreciate it. All right, so let's move forward. So we've got
so
our repair and maintenance general topic, point number four. My understanding, Kogi, is that we have a 10-year plan. And in fact, let me try to put that up on the screen if I can find it. We have a 10-year plan, and I hope everybody can see that plan. Can you see that plan?
No.
not yet.
Not yet. Let me just make sure that it's sharing. All right, I'm just going to make sure that it's sharing because it was a very good plan that had been put together by Andy and by Mervyn. Can you see the plan in front of you, colleagues?
Yes.
Can see
Right.
now.
You'll see that we're operating under cycle one of that 10-year plan, 2025 to 2027, 8, 9, and 10, as you can see there. What we had agreed at our annual general meeting is that we would move that large item on external works, that large item which was uh, bu- 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 the resurfacing and the resealing of the tar, we would move it from 2025 to 2026. And we've already done the two items above it, which are the air conditioning doors and the fire equipment doors have already been done. They were done for us during the painting work. So those two can come out. So my understanding, Kogi, that in 2026, in terms of this 10-year plan, we would be looking at our CCTV cameras at 31,000 Rand. We would be looking at the resurfacing and sealing of the tar at roughly 441,000 Rand. And then we would be looking at the swimming pools, pumps, and chlorinator refurbishment at roughly 18,900 Rand. And that is what's been put into the budget for 2026. I do know, Kogi, that you wanted to sit with Laura and you wanted to have a look at everything that we've actually got under the reserved fund activities to see if any of those would fit into the 2026 period. I don't know if we're allowed to do that. And the reason I'm saying that is I think once we've lodged the plan, we have to then formally lodge an alteration with CSOS. I might be incorrect, by the way, but that's my understanding. Laura, you've worked with these plans a little bit. What is your understanding of a variation in the plan?
Um, just that it obviously it gets voted on at every AGM so that all owners know what we're planning to do. Um,
So we had a vote on the 2025, 2026 years at the AGM, or it was a topic and it wasn't an opposed topic. And therefore, that's what we're currently working under, but nothing for 2027 yet.
Okay,
but
can I just chip in?
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, so the 10-year plan is a work in progress document. So it can be changed every year,
Okay.
depending on the work that needs to be done.
yeah.
So it's not something that is finalized at the previous meeting. We can change items in the following year
All right.
according to what needs to be done.
So we can change 2026
Correct.
to present again at our next AGM. Yeah.
Yes.
In
So the
2026.
plan is updated annually.
Mm.
All right. So as things stand at this moment in time, our major project for next year will be the resurfacing and resealing. And then we've got two incidental projects, which is the CCTV project and the swimming pool pumps and chlorinator project. I think that if we keep it flexible and if we know that we have an urgent item, but I'll tell you what I would like to do, and Kogi, maybe you can tell us this.
Okay.
I am still in the gray, a little bit in the gray or the dark, about what falls into our normal maintenance schedule as opposed to what falls into our maintenance schedule, our 10-year maintenance schedule. And the reason I'm saying that is if you look at the garden proposals that we're going to have a little later from Dave, within that garden proposal, there is a refurbishment of the Braai area, roughly about 10,000 Rand. Now, that's because the Braai area has broken down. And so my understanding is that that would fall under our normal maintenance schedule as opposed to our 10-year rolling maintenance schedule. But I might be incorrect, and it's for that reason I'm asking for clarification.
No, it will fall under our maintenance project. So no normal maintenance, our normal expenditure as such.
All right, so we wouldn't need to include it in the 10-year plan.
No,
And
no.
what about the landscaping and the establishment of the gardens themselves? Because that's likely to be in the region of, just for argument's sake, 30 to 40,000 Rand, if not more. And so the question is, does that fall into the normal maintenance plan? In other words, not the odd flowers or trees which might die off and need to be replaced, a normal maintenance activity, but in fact the re-establishment of the gardens. Would that be classified under the maintenance schedule or just our normal maintenance activities?
As far as I know, it should just fall under the normal activities, but I can get confirmation on that one because I've never had that before.
All right.
Um, and it
Mervyn,
doesn't normally appear on the plan. So can I get some clarity on that? And Laura and I can
of
work with
course,
that when we're doing the document.
of course.
Okay.
Certainly, my understanding from Mervyn, and for whatever reason, he hasn't. It doesn't look like he. Oh, Mervyn is on. Merv, can I
Yeah,
just
I'm
ask
on.
you? Do we have included in the normal maintenance budget the funds available for what Dave is going to be talking to us about, which is the reestablishment of the gardens and yeah, the reestablishment of the gardens?
No, because if you look at the budget, I mean, for the garden expenses, we're looking at like where is it here? I saw it, I had it. Garden expenses, you're looking at 26 grand for the entire 25 year. So what you're doing is you're not, it's not general repairs and maintenance. You know, we want to do a whole lot to the garden. So we haven't budgeted for it in our normal garden expenses. The normal garden expenses is taking the leaves away, cleaning, a couple of pot plants here and there. But what you're talking about is a project.
Yes.
It,
So,
sorry, Merv, is that going to be in this financial year?
no, I don't think so. Ava, what's your plan for this year?
Well,
To
we
try and get the
did
garden done before the holiday season?
at the AGM, it was discussed and it was agreed that we would implement that. If you remember, it was proposed by Jeannie. And it was discussed and it was agreed that we would ask Dave to get us quotes and that we would look to do it before the holiday season of this year. I just don't know if we've got enough time to do it by then, but look to do it before the holiday season of this year.
So the holiday season's in 8 weeks' time.
Yeah, I
I
know.
can't see it being done.
Yeah.
But
And we haven't budgeted for it either.
Yeah.
yeah, but there's two different things going on here. So one is that we're going to uplift the garden slightly. So maybe look after the lawn, make sure that the lawn is fertilized properly and is looking good for the December holiday.
Holidays. Yeah.
And then that falls under our general
Yeah.
maintenance. But if we're making any changes, like structural changes, like really, fixing the entrance, and someone's going to come up with a plan for that, then I think that goes under our 10-year
Yeah,
maintenance.
no, sure.
Correct.
Anything
Yeah.
to do
Well,
with
that can be
architects or plans or
expense from
anything.
the reserve fund, yeah.
Mm.
All
But if
right.
we just talk about just a general upliftment and, putting some extra fertilizer and helping to move some plants, that's our general
Yeah,
looking
that
after.
will fall under general, and we've got money for that.
All right.
Yes.
Well, let's wait and see what Dave says. But yeah, I think we should hopefully have money to cover that activity. All right. So then I just want to get back to this. So as far as our 10-year maintenance plan is concerned, it was considered at our annual general meeting, bar the shift in the resurfacing. That plan basically stays as is in this first cycle. And the budget has been set for those activities in this first cycle. What we have said is that Kogi and Laura will sit. They'll look at the plan in general over the 10-year period and see if we need to affect any of the second and the third component of the first cycle, which we would then have to take to the AGM next year. Dave, can I ask you to address point 4.2 and 4.3 for us so that we can then consider, as Mervyn has said, whether or not either all or some of those expenses fall under our normal maintenance schedule, or in fact, whether it needs to be located within our 10-year plan?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Hello. Hi, Ivor.
Hello.
I'm in a bit of a mess at this moment. I couldn't get in on my computer, so I'm working off my phone here.
Okay.
The garden establishment and maintenance. Now, I've had 4 landscapers, garden people in. Only 2 have sent me quotes back. 2 of them came to the meeting and didn't. I've tried to get responses from them and they haven't been there at all. I've broken the areas up into the entrance area, basically bordered by a salamander, and then the pool area and the garden around the pool area, the walkway and the entrance area, and then the back bank area, and also cutting of a few trees that are the the roots are becoming a big problem. They're very close to the drains, and also not only that, they're actually creating too much shade and it's killing the grass. There's not enough sunlight. If we look at the grass, that's actually doing quite well at the moment. I've been watering it a fair amount. We've had good rains. I've already done one lot of fertilizer, and probably 2 to 3 weeks time I'll re-fertilize. So that's looking quite good at the moment. On the quote around the garden area, I've had a quote from, or the pool area. The one company, Win Landscapes, has given us a 53,000 Rand quote for that. And then Pink Garden Services, I'm just going through papers now because I've ended up cutting things out. They've given us a quote of 7,000 Rand. Win Landscapes is excluding VAT, and Pink Garden Service is including VAT. So I think what Win is looking at is a complete re-landscape, although I did walk around with him and tell him what we wanted. Pink is going to do a fair amount of work, supply new crotons, supply jasmine, cut back plants, rearrange a little bit. So there's huge discrepancies in these two quotes.
Mm. Who's Pink Garden Services? Where do they come from?
They do Marbella across away from us.
Mm.
They based in Schlonga area. They do a couple of big projects. I did put it in an email earlier on. They've been going for 16 years now. As I say, Marbella is one of theirs. They do Lambert Road Church. They do a fairly big complex behind the hypermarket. And there are one or two others that I can't think of offhand. Okay.
Mm. It looks to me like we're not comparing apples with apples here. And also,
No,
I'm busy with another complex, and it's got massive gardens, and we're looking at upgrading the gardens. So I've been walking extensively around gardens, talking to various gardening companies. And I think we need to get a couple more quotes, one being Ladybird, which so far I've been quite impressed with talking to them. Um, and they're very well known here in the Mhlanga area. So I think I would like to suggest that I contact them and get them on site as well for a quote.
Guys,
There's also
okay, that's fine.
can I just come here and say, I'm just looking at this win versus pink. You're talking about the difference between 120,000 Rand without the fountain area, the tree felling to be quoted on. And with pink, you're talking about 15, 16, 17, 18, maybe in total 30, 35,000 Rand. So I think that Laura's quite right. Are these apples and apples at the end of the day?
Well,
Sorry, Dave?
yeah, no, Ivor, that's what I'm saying. I had the other two people quoting, and I've phoned them 4 or 5 times, and they've never come back to me with a quote. They're not even taking my calls anymore.
Yeah, but these two that we're looking at right now, I mean, they're so vastly different. It can't be the same thing that they're
Yes,
offering.
no, I agree. I agree with you there, Laura. But I don't
And
know
then
how much wind can be putting in. Um,
I'll get
they've
I'll
come
get in
through
touch
with
with
a
I'll get in
thousand.
touch. Yeah, I'll get in touch with some companies that I've been dealing with lately and come around and get
Okay,
some compare this
that's
properly.
fine.
All right.
This is not making sense here.
All right. So Laura, can we do this? Dave, if all we do before the end of the year is fix up the Braai area, and you've submitted a quote for the Braai area, do you want to just go over what that quote is for? And my suggestion is that if that's all we do, at least we've improved the area for December, January period. What is it that you're proposing in that regard, Dave?
Okay. However, all it is the two large concrete circles that are there. They're breaking up quite badly. So it's just a case of reconcreting those, but doing it properly where we actually put down a mesh rebar type of structure and then throw a 60 mil concrete slab above that. So it'll be done properly.
And what about the Braais themselves?
The braais are fine, Ivor. I've cleaned up the tiles underneath the braais. I've spoken to Clyde. I've asked him for some touch-up paint, which I'm still waiting for as well. So I thought I'd paint around there and just leave the tiles as is at the moment.
All right.
But we can do more to that area.
And then what's the total quote that you've received for that area?
It's 10,000 Rand. 9,500.
Wouldn't it be easier just to use paving stones? Pull out the concrete and put some nice paving stones there. I mean, how often does it get used? And what's the benefit of having, the minute you get in, you're right. If you're going to put solid concrete, you got to go foundation,
And
rebars, and everything. And I'm saying,
it cracks and
yeah,
looks
and
ugly.
it cracks. And I'm saying,
Especially on
for the
sea
amount
sand.
of time it gets used, why don't we just get like nice big pavers? You can actually get paving that can make a circle. Put it in, away we go.
We'd still have to get a decent base to work from. So then we'd have to break up the existing concrete there,
Yeah.
maybe cut that all away, put sand down and pave over that.
Yeah.
Who's actually using the braais anyway?
It doesn't get used that often. It's very the owners don't use it. It's the odd short-term rental that uses it.
So then why are we even talking about it right now?
Pull it out and grass the area.
Exactly.
Okay, it is nice if people are there to have some sort of place to sit, and we haven't got a table there at the moment. I was going to put it forward that we maybe put another bench and table on that area, but we can grass it.
Yeah, but my suggestion is we just grass it. I mean, I don't think any of the owners ever use that.
Well, then
Okay.
why are we even talking about it? If it's not for the
Okay.
owners, then let's move on.
Okay, sorry, one problem there is we've got that big milkwood tree, and we battle to get grass to grow there, and we're not allowed to cut milkwoods. They won't let us cut a milkwood tree.
But then,
No.
as Mervyn says, can we then not seriously just put pavers down, even if they become overgrown with the grass? We can always cut away the grass.
Why don't we, when I go there with these extra gardening people, just ask what kind of grass would grow underneath there? There's got to be something, or a ground cover, or something to make it look attractive.
Yeah,
Make it into
there
a flower
are
bed.
Yeah, we can do like a big circular,
Big
like,
circular flower
brick,
bed. Yeah.
and then
Okay.
put ground cover and plants underneath there and make it look attractive.
Okay, we've got a bit of a problem with that. It's one of the few areas where children run around, and that's, so if we put a flower bed there, we'd have to put a decent fence around it, or something to keep them out. Because the little ones that come here, it's one of the few places that they can run around safely. I would say the best is possibly let's pave it.
Let me go there with these garden people, and they might have a better solution.
All right.
I'll come back with it. I'll
So-
come back within a week.
All right. So we've got two things. We've got Laura working with her gardening companies. Dave, in the meantime, could you get us a quote on the paving? And then we'll determine which are the better of the two solutions in the short term.
Okay.
I think we
I'll
need
do
to
that.
just fix the braai. As long as the braais are okay, and
The bras are fine, Mervyn. They work
Yeah.
perfectly.
okay, so it's good. It's just you saying like when you say braai area, as in a seating and a table. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Which you're
Thanks,
saying
guys.
doesn't-
So we've got a road ahead. Laura, how long should it take for you to come back to us?
A week max.
All right, so let's say 2 weeks. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Thank you. And then,
Can
Dave,
I-
if you can also
can
do
I-
the paving quote.
Okay, can I interject there, Laura? If you want to give them my number and they can meet me here, or just let me know when they're coming and I can meet with them as well.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Colleagues, we're moving now to the issue of finance. And I've detected that there is let's not call it a disagreement, but differing views on the application of CSOS rules with relation to the 10-year maintenance levy. And just having a chat to Kogi before we started the meeting, and Kogi, please correct me if I'm wrong, but what you indicated to me was that we have sufficient funds to cover the required amount, not to have to implement a 3-month, if you want, additional levy charge until January, from which we would start collecting the new year's worth of maintenance levy. You've also confirmed to me that the 250 odd thousand rand has now gone into our account from 502. However, you have said that we cannot use that money for the maintenance levy. Am I right in saying that?
That's correct. It's not something that can how can I say sub to the word
So we
is
can't
it's not
allocate,
coming
we can't allocate part of our income to the maintenance levy.
well, we will be moving funds, but technically that income that's come from the owner has been raised over a period of time. So it's not actually classed as the maintenance reserve fund that's come in. You understand that a maintenance reserve fund is something that should be raised and collected separately.
which we
So
haven't
this
done for
income,
this year.
no, we have not.
All right, but all right, so let's put that aside just for a moment because my feeling is that there would be no problem in us allocating that 250,000 rand to the maintenance levy. However, you're saying there is a problem with doing that, but let's put that aside. You then say that because we have sufficient funding in the maintenance levy, there is no need for that 3-month collection.
We do not have to, if we did not raise it, it would not be a train smash because it does not affect your financials. But going forward, we need to work with the budget and the 10-year plan together
That's from the
to
1st of January,
implement
right?
from the 1st of January.
Laura, you have a differing view.
No, I've said what Kogi was saying
Oh,
because before I wrote this down, but before I wrote my email, I had long discussions with Kogi about this. So we've made a mistake by not collecting money for our 10-year maintenance plan. And Kogi and I, and that's what I said in the email, is it should be flagged by the auditors, but we can say that we have a plan to collect money next year.
all right. Fantastic. So in short, then, there is no need for us to collect over the October, November, December period, which will be a relief to owners. Thank you for that, guys. Appreciate that. Have we indicated to owners what they are going to have to pay from January in terms of the maintenance levy? Kogi?
No, we have not yet because Laura and I just need to finalize those figures before
All
we
right.
can send information out to owners.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
did you understand what I was saying in my email about how that gets worked out?
Yes.
So, yeah, no, Kogi, I know you know, and everyone else.
Sorry.
Everyone else, because there seems to have been confusion about this. So basically, once we've got our budget for our administrative budget for 2026, we then look at what we have budgeted for the maintenance portion of that. And then that's what we have to raise as our maintenance reserve fund figure, because we fall between the 25% and the 100% of what we got. Does that make sense?
no. Sorry. Do you want to unpack it for me like I'm a 5-year-old?
Maybe you can explain it better, Kogi.
I'm just trying to think.
Okay,
All right.
so
So let me start here. Let me start here, Laura.
We need
If
to try a
we
simple way.
if we have our budget in terms of our 10-year plan, logic says to me that if the budget, for argument's sake, is 500,000 Rand in 2026. No.
sorry. So sorry, someone's just trying to catch my attention. Just
Ah,
hang on a second. I'll be back in one
okay,
second.
no problem. So Kogi, if we've got
Alberts, work on 780,000
all right,
because that's what you moved the figures across from
okay,
25 to 26.
all right,
We need 780,000.
all right. So let's say 800,000, just for argument's sake.
800, yeah.
So,
Okay, so on our 10-year plan now, we've only got 490 there so far.
yeah,
What
but
else
remember
are we
we're
adding
moving.
on there?
Remember we're moving the one across.
The
Right, that's the
resurface and
400 and
reseal
some odd.
moves across the 441,000.
And what other figures are moving are going in there?
Have the air conditioner doors and fire equipment, were
Both
those
of
done this year?
Yeah, both
Those
of
have
the
been
doors
done.
have been done. They were done under the contract we had with Promac.
Okay, so I'm down to 640,000 then.
Where's the other
Okay, so
200,000?
Electrical and lighting 150, CCTV cameras 31, chlorinator 19, but I think the chlorinator's also been done.
Where's electrical and lighting? I don't see that. I've just put on the screen. I've put the budget
I
we
don't know, the one
received
that I'm
from.
looking at had 150,000 for lighting.
Okay, I don't see that.
Oh, I think because we wanted to at one of the meetings we discussed doing up all the lighting and everything in the
Are you saying you added that?
Yes, I've added that.
Okay, so
okay, so what figure are you looking at there, Mervyn?
So if you look from the top, I've got CCTV cameras 31,000, right?
Okay, I got 3923, so must I
Yeah,
change
call
it
it
to 31?
31,000. Let's
Okay,
round numbers.
right. Okay,
Replace all the light fittings in the building
yes,
and the electrical and lighting 150,000.
150, okay.
Then
Just
I've
adding.
got external works, the reef surface and reseal 441,000.
Okay,
And 19,000 Rand for the chlorinator for next year. But Dave,
640 then.
yeah, both chlorinators, are they in good working order? We're not going to have to replace them next year.
Mervyn, I don't think we'll need to replace chlorinators, but I think the sand filters are very close to needing to be renewed.
Renewed as in the sand, or to put in new?
No, new filters themselves, because the last time the bolts pulled on the
Yes,
little
that's right.
inspection hatch on the top, and we actually prattlied them back in, but to open them again is going to be a
Okay.
problem.
So
So I
let's
think,
call it 20 grand. Let's put 20 grand in the budget for that for next year.
All right, which is the
okay,
18.9 that we've got there, just plus one more.
Yeah. So I get a total of 642,000
All right.
for next year.
Okay, so now
Yeah,
that's 642,000. How much do we have in the budget currently for that expenditure, Kogi?
No, this is the budget. I mean, the budget, we've got
That's the
nothing for
10-year
next year.
plan. So that's going into the budget, but we need to recover that money.
Mhm.
So that would have to be raised on the special on as a maintenance levy.
Exactly. So that's why it gets worked out on what the administrative fund amount is, so that we're
Yeah.
constantly putting the money into back in, not looking at just what are we going to have we got enough money for next year? Because we've got to think that we're going to paint again in 7 years'
Yes.
time or what have you. So we could be like using smaller amounts for the next few years, but then we're going to have this massive expense. And so if we're not constantly putting money in there, we're going to have this massive special levies again. And I, for one, don't want to be hit with another 70,000 in 1 year on special levies.
All right, so Laura, can I ask you and Kogi to actually work out the balance of this 10-year cycle in terms of the budget we would need to collect each year to make sure we aren't hit with special levies, plus we're covering the activities for each particular year?
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Laura, you had a question about how payments are authorized. What do you need to know?
so when invoices come in, who's authorizing them?
Well,
Generally Mervyn and Iva. So
yeah.
now
Basically,
I'm adding
Kogi
you
sends
on.
us the invoices.
Yeah.
And then if I don't like it or something, I'll go back to Dave and say, Dave, has this work been done? And then, yeah, then we pay them.
Is it possible to put them onto We Connect You, Kogi?
Yeah, no, all the invoices are uploaded under supplier details.
Let's have a look here.
I would also like to say that basically everybody can wait till the end of the month, and we do payments once a month as opposed to approving invoices all the time. I don't know. It's Laura, that's your call. Whether you want to do it once a month or every week, you get one or two to approve.
Colleagues, but I think generally what could be useful is just a one or two paragraphs on, in fact, how payments get authorized so they become part of our operating principles.
Yeah. So Kogi, just I'm looking at We Connect You. Where do I find it?
Okay, so go to finance,
Mm-hmm.
go to supplier
Yes.
and supplier detail ledger,
Detailed supply ledger. Okay.
and then you type in which supplier you're looking for. Let's just
No,
say
but I just want to see what invoices there are. So
okay,
I'll have to log
so
in.
you'd have to select a specific, like maybe the municipality, Tekweni, or Atle fees, or something specific.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not going to hold this conversation up. I will go and poke around in
Oh
here.
yeah, and I can guide you if you need be.
And because at another complex where I'm at, every time an invoice comes up, all the trustees get a message that there's a
Okay,
invoice, so
so
that everyone has eyes on it
yeah.
and can just sort of see what's going on. And then what happens before that though, before it comes to you? Like, does Dave sign off that the work has been done so that we know, rather than having to go back and query? That seems a bit sort of,
Generally, it always comes in after the work's done.
yeah. But then does
So
Dave
I've never
see it?
had,
But
yeah,
does
I've never
Dave
had
see it
anything.
so that he can like say, yes, this work has actually happened and he's
I
happy with
do
the partnership?
I do copy Dave in on the email as well, if it's like not something standard.
So okay,
Hello?
I'm just take me back to I'm not understanding this whole process. So
Okay, so if the invoice comes in, let's just say it's for us like a building company or suburban roofing or something like that.
yeah,
I would send it to everybody and copy Dave.
okay.
I'm not thinking on a big major project, like something small, basically, or like what's the lighting company you use? Schlange
No,
Electrical,
we use Lighthouse Electrical for the
Lighthouse
electrical, or
Electrical.
maybe
So
maybe
if
the
it's Lighthouse
pool.
Electrical, I'll send it to Mervyn and Iva, and I'll copy Dave in, and Dave, if it's not done, he'll say it's not done, or he's not happy with it, or whatever the case may be.
And how long do you wait to hear from Dave before a trustee says, okay, go ahead and pay?
Well, it's generally within the next day I get an answer.
Okay.
It's not a long period because Dave responds almost as soon as I send my email, and then we just wait for Iva or Mervyn as soon as they look at their emails and they respond.
Okay.
Right. If between the two of you, you are able to reduce that just to a policy, that would be very, very useful for us just to adopt.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate that. All right. Dave, from a staffing point of view, I recall that Laura asked for duties and responsibilities of each staff member, and you were working on that. Have you completed that project?
What I've done is I've put like a schedule roster in the back of their daily where they sign in daily. So there is a roster and a schedule there, but obviously it doesn't stay the same all the time. Like at the moment, I've got them pulling all the weeds out on the back bank. So it's a general roster, and then there are extra duties as we go
All right. So
along the way.
I think from a labor relations perspective, what we definitely have to have in place is we have to have a job. So let's say, for example, it's a gardener, just for argument's sake. And the job specification will detail the key performance indicators of the gardener, whatever he has to do generally. And then there'll be a catch-all phrase at the end of it, any other duties that may be required from you reasonably from time to time. And I think what's important is that we need, for each particular job we've got, we need a set of key performance indicators, how they're going to be measured for that job. It doesn't need to be more than one page. And then we need to know who's in which of those job categories as a schedule. And we also need to have a range of pay for that particular category. So I'll give you a practical example. The entry level position for a cleaner might, for argument's sake, be minimum wage 6,500 Rand. The median could be, for argument's sake, 8,000 Rand. And the maximum could be, for argument's sake, 10,000 Rand, although you never get to maximum in a range application. So at least that way we have a system in place. Now, I assume there are only going to be about 3 jobs available within the building, excluding the supervisor's job. But at least that way we've got a full HR system in place when it comes to job descriptions against which people can be assessed. And more importantly, from a reasonableness point of view, the kinds of stuff that can ordinarily be reasonably expected over and above a person's job from time to time. We have to have that system in place. We cannot not have that system in place.
Okay. I'll show Kogi what I've done, and if Kogi, if you can maybe help me, and we'll put this together then.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Can I just jump in here too, Dave?
Yes.
Would it be possible for us also to get a weekly report of what is actually going on at the complex? Us trustees are not there on site walking around every day, so I think it'll be really, really helpful for us to know who's doing what's happened, any issues that have come up, things that are going well, like anytime there's a problem, and put it into a report so that we have things to refer back to and see if there's a pattern that's happening or something really needs to be addressed. And also just to have a better understanding of what's actually happening on the ground.
So,
Okay. A lot of
Dave,
it is repetitive. They do the same thing all the time, but then there are different tasks every now and again, as and when they come up. Like the garbage, the bins get collected every day into the bigger bins. They get taken outside. The bins all get sanitized. New black bags go into the bins, and then once a week those are collected by council. So things like that are very, very repetitive. Eric every day does a swimming pool in the morning. That's his first job in the morning.
Okay, but could we please get a weekly report of what's happened, if there's been issues with any Airbnb units, where there are problems,
Okay,
if you've had people coming on to quote, who's been to quote, who you've spoken to. I just
okay,
feel
that's
like
fine. Yeah,
we don't know what's happening on the ground, and we aren't there. So I think it would be good for us as trustees to have more information about what is going on a day-to-day basis there.
okay, that's fine. I'll do that, Laura.
Thank
Laura,
you.
maybe you could send those questions through to Dave and he could sort of create a schedule for them.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. All right. Anything else under general, colleagues? Let me ask, Mervyn, anything from your point of view?
No.
Cliff, from your point of view?
No, not from our side.
Okay, excellent. Laura, from your perspective?
No, I'm all good.
All right. Dave, anything from yours?
No, either I'm all fine. I'll deal with Kogi a little bit on things, and apart from that, it's all good this side.
All right, just one question. When do the double shift security guards come on duty?
They'll only start about middle of December. Either I'll get quotes for them in the beginning of November,
Uh-huh.
but the quote will be the same as our guard at the moment. It's normally whatever the guard is at the moment, it's slightly less for the day shift.
All right, just basically doubling up, right?
Yes, that's right.
And that carries on until the 15th of January.
Either I'll probably stop it a little bit before that, the Sunday before the 15th. So
Okay.
it'll probably go to about the 10th.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. That was a very useful meeting and short and concise. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks,
Bye-bye
Alf.
now.
Bye.
Bye.